Friends, a long time ago in a galaxy far away, a then small company came up with a big idea. A truck that could go just about anywhere. And over the past 65 years, that's exactly what it's done. Well, with one notable exception. But if I'm honest, there was an exception to the exception. It's called an Infiniti. But guess what? At the risk of overusing the term exception, the exception is no longer an exception. So, let's go for a drive. Now, you may not believe this, but that is a hybrid. Not exactly the traditional Prius sense of the hybrid that plagues our roads. No, this is the hybrid from like back in the 50s. Remember the old Chrysler concept cars that were Italian-bodied with Chrysler firepower, that kind of stuff? Well, this is kind of similar in that the body, the suspension, the whole thing, built in Japan, the engine built in America. And we've seen that engine naked when we drove the Titan V8 gas. We went to Deckard, Tennessee. That is the 5.6 liter V8. Puts out 390 horsepower. It comes in at 5,800 RPM and 394 pound-feet of torque, which comes in at a relatively high engine speed of 4,000 RPM. Compression ratio 11.2 to 1. A couple of interesting things here. Number one, this is paired with a 7-speed automatic like in the Titan, but it is a different engine, and this is going to be kind of a theme throughout our episode here. How does it compare to the Infiniti, whatever they call it now? This is actually a little bit less horsepower. The Infiniti puts out 400 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque, and technically it really is the same engine. They're both 5.6 liter, but what they've done in the Infiniti is they've tuned it, they've mapped it to run on premium fuel only, and that's why you get the higher horsepower and the higher torque. So now that we've got the numbers and see how this all works together with the transmission, how does it work out, well, wherever you would take these things? Okay, so we're back with our good old friend and fellow Sun Devil, Mike Betts.
I'm not that old.
You are old. You're a grandfather. You're old.
5 times now.
Okay, you're really old at this point. You're almost going on great-grandfather. So, okay, the thing's making noise. What's going on?
Well, that's the
that sensor stuff. How about this? I turn it off there.
Thank you. That's good.
Okay, now, because we don't want old people like hearing aid noises.
What?
Okay, so what are we doing here?
Okay, so this course is rather small, but it's really technical.
And where are we?
We're in the middle of Laguna Seca racetrack. So all around us is the racetrack, and we're inside, like in the pond area, where we have this really technical off-road course.
Yeah, technical as I'm looking up at the sky. Is it better to keep even on the gas going up this thing?
You can stop.
Yeah.
And go. The thing's got so much torque and horsepower that you can stop anytime on the hill, and you'll be just fine.
Tell me about the torque and horsepower, because what's this 390?
Yeah.
And 394 as opposed to 400 and 413.
That's right.
What's the difference between this and the QX80? Or
Premium
56?
fuel and regular fuel.
So if I threw premium fuel in this, would I get to 400?
No, because you have to. We have a fuel map.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the right fuel map for premium, left, all the way left.
Left.
If you don't have the right fuel map, it won't react directly.
What if I got one of these and I came out to Arizona, the proving ground? Can you remap it for me?
Possibly.
Possibly. Nice. Because I want 400 horsepower. Actually, I want more than that.
Well,
okay.
You want a lot more than that.
Now, before we dive off into driving dynamics, we really need to unpack how rare this is. In today's day and age, there really is no such thing as a passenger vehicle that is body on frame. Yes, there are pickup trucks and large trucks, but this is kind of a rarefied air. There's only a handful of these vehicles out there, like large SUVs, that, if I'm honest, are mainly used by yummy mommies to transport rugrats to privileged preschools. That's evidenced by the fact that they will sell probably half of them in two-wheel drive, which boggles my mind. But let's put that aside. Now that we understand how rare it is, what's underneath it to affect driving dynamics? Well, obviously, it's body-on-frame construction, but in addition to that, it's double wishbone suspension front and rear, and then in addition to that, stabilizer bars front and rear. Yes, large wheels, 20-inch wheels, but more importantly, behind that are 13.8-inch rotors, not just in the front, but in the rear. Then There's that dirty number of the weight, well, 5,500 pounds, up to about 5,900 pounds the way this one is fitted here. Now, let's put all of that together and really, how does that translate out onto the road, or maybe not the road, in terms of driving dynamics, especially considering that it may say Armada, but to you and I is a Patrol. Oh, nice.
It is nice.
This is...
And it's so comfortable. The thing, like when we're dropping the tires onto the ground,
yeah,
it's such a soft landing.
Like, it's very reassuring. Like, I would think this would be unstable, but
it's really confident.
it's very stable.
Yes, very.
Now, how much of that is the suspension travel, and how much is that is the actual structure of the ladder frame?
It's both. But we have a lot of Johnson rebound.
Yeah.
So since it's fully independent suspension,
Yeah.
now we should stop talking about that stuff because you're going to start giggling
Hold on
again
a
right here in
second.
a minute.
Right. Where do I brake here?
Not yet. As soon as you feel it start to go, a little more. Now brake. And let it fall over. Now hard right, and let's stay up on the side of this.
Okay.
So you get the feel of this too.
Oh, I don't like looking up at you.
You know, I like looking down on you though.
I don't like this at all.
This is my favorite part so far.
This is not good.
So hang out a little bit, go to the left, so
Okay.
you can get straightened up on this so
Left
we can get
more.
the most wheel lift. So left a little bit.
Okay.
Now come straight so we can get on these just right so we can get as much wheel lift as possible.
Okay.
So as soon as you feel it start to break over,
Yeah.
touch your brake. There you go, brake.
Oh.
Now when we do this,
Oh.
I want you to brake a little harder.
Okay.
As soon as I tell you, hit the brake hard. Now,
No.
you can get
You can literally rock it back and forth. And I love that we're doing this. What is it? A $60,000 car. We're doing this.
Yeah,
with.
that's right. Well, we did jump a QX80 once.
We did.
So,
We did. It was a 56 back
A
then.
QX56. We had no regard for that, so why
No.
should we have regard for that?
Exactly. This is how Sun Devils roll.
It is.
Warning! This segment of our episode is incredibly biased. Not that other episodes are really unbiased, but this really biased. So with that, the schnoz of this thing. Way better looking than that Infiniti, I don't know what they call it nowadays, the QX56, the QX80, whatever their ridiculous naming conventions are, that, not pretty. This, pretty. And yes, both very capable vehicles, but let's be honest, if you're buying something that is more than 50 grand, you want it to look good. How is a yummy mama, like a super hot woman that's gonna have her kids in the back, what is she gonna do with this? Seriously.
This is a lot of, we get that asked all the time. And sometimes there are people like me that want to go to a trailhead.
Yeah.
And we want to take a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And the only way to really do it is to have something like this.
Yeah.
And we take this
Dude,
really
this is-
off-roading. But there's the other thing.
Are you? I'm gonna fall off.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Just
It-
it's hard left.
Is this a frame twist?
Hard left.
Hard left. Hard left.
Stay as
Wait,
left as
is
you
that
can.
wheel off now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. You're doing good.
Okay.
Now that wheel was off. So we're going to come around here.
Okay. But I'm gonna stay here. I'm
Yep,
not gonna
stay
go off.
high.
Okay. What's our degree here? What's our angle?
I don't know, but it's a good angle.
You're an engineer. You should know the numbers.
It's 17.6
Can I just say I like looking down on you right now?
Now this is where
going
we're
on
going to
here?
really get some lift.
Wait a minute. So,
So-
we're gonna go over this?
Straighten up, go very straight
Yeah.
and nice and slow.
Okay.
Now when you feel it start to break over,
Yeah.
touch your brake.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Now that wheel's got to be off right
It's
now.
off about 3 feet. Okay, now stop.
Are you
Touch
serious?
your brake. Just a touch more.
Oh, Santa Maria Madre de Dios!
Now,
What the hell are you trying to do to me?
now you have to turn hard
Your
right.
fellow
hard
Sun
right,
Devil, you're trying to
hard
kill
right. Because now your back tire is off the ground about 3 feet.
That is awesome.
It is awesome.
I love this.
And look at the smile on your face, because this is so fun.
Can I mean, this
Now,
is a
go to the
little,
left
a
a
little
little
bit
bit.
biased. Okay, left.
Now go
left.
straight to the right.
Okay.
Okay, now straight. Now go
Straight.
slow, because we're going to get the wheels way off the ground.
Okay. Oh, hey now.
It's a little BLSD, little brake limited slip
Yeah.
differential.
Oh, hey now, hey
No.
now. Oh!
Now stop, hit the brake. You can get yourself rocking back and forth.
We need to write music for this.
Now, how fun is that?
That is
Such
awesome.
a cool. That's very
Fork
cool.
'em devils, baby! Ah! We gotta do that trick again!
This little course is such a blast. And when you see this from the outside,
Yeah.
and you see how far the tires are off the ground, you'll be like, oh my God.
So in summary, what do we got? Well, let me tell you a story. Way back in the day when we first started the show, we took a road trip. We went to Arizona, where we went to the Nissan Proving Grounds and met Mr. Betts for the first time, the guy who you saw today. And we took, well, not exactly this, the Infiniti, whatever they call it. And Mr. Betts said, if you go down that dirt road there, go about 50 miles an hour, you will like what happens. And people, what happened was we took an almost 6,000 pound vehicle and we made it fly. Don't take my word for it. Click on the link and watch the episode and you will see for yourself. But in the process, I kind of fell in love with this vehicle, so I cannot say anything bad about a vehicle that I got air in. But here we have a kind of a different scenario. And normally on the show, and I've told you this before, I don't like talking numbers because we're more about the passion of the car. But here, they've been offering this for the past 5 years in the US, but now here's another version of it in the US with a different name, and it's 20 grand cheaper. Yeah, they pull out stuff like hill descent control, and it's a little bit less horsepower. Nothing really to talk about. And I've driven this thing on road a little bit, and we'll come back to you with a separate episode on road. We just had to take advantage of the opportunity to go off-road here at Laguna Seca. But at the end of the day, the most simple way I could put this is if I were a responsible human being that actually had a wife and children, I would completely rock this. And yeah, there is the whole thing about the name. I mean, I don't know why they don't call this thing a Patrol in the US. Like, we even had a discussion with the marketing manager of the car, and she was like, well, there's more name recognition for Armada. I'm like, well, but the Patrol's been around since like 1951 or something like that. There's more name recognition there. Anyway, we left the conversation with me telling her, you should stock a number of badges that say Patrol, because something tells me a lot of people are going to buy that. But now I want to put that aside because I need to turn this around to you guys, because there is something I am completely perplexed about this vehicle. I don't know why you'd buy this thing in two-wheel drive. It boggles my mind. Like, I live in the Sun Belt state, and if I were to do something like this, I would have to get the four-wheel drive because I'd want to take it skiing or do stuff like that, or go to like a trail, and not just like a trailhead, but a trail. Yeah, most people probably wouldn't do that with this thing, but I would. So my question to you is this. If you own this vehicle or own something like it, like in the same region, like the Tahoe, an Escalade, the Sequoia, or something like that, or a vehicle in other parts of the world that is not on offer here, that is body on frame, large SUV, why would you get it in two-wheel drive? And don't just give me the why, but like, what do you do with it every day? Let me know in the comments below or via our social media, MotoManTV all one word, MotoManTV all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, I want to leave you with two things. Number one, make sure you download our fancy new mobile application, which has been updated, and you can still download it for free at Apple iTunes or Google Play. And number two, a fun fact. So in the tech review of this vehicle, I left you with the fun fact of when this nameplate started, the Nissan Patrol, not the Armada, the Nissan Patrol. But now, the fun fact is, you realize that there have been only 3 generations since 1951. And of the 3 generations, the ones that you and I get excited about, like the Paris-Dakar generation, that only started in 1980. Generation 3. So, until I see you next time, bis später.